A little bit. Yes? Yes. Perfect. Grand Rising, everyone. My name is Tisha Smith, and I'm your reader for today. And the theme for 2024 is Grand Rising. The theme for October, Power to the People. Right on. Topic for today is Power to Create a Better World. Charlie Chaplin, is attributed with saying, "Think of all the power that's in the universe, moving the earth and growing the trees. That's the same power within you." Ernest Holmes says this about real power: a steadfast determination to attain some purpose, the letting go of all that opposes it, a complete reliance upon the law of good, and an unqualified trust in spirit. This is real power. So let us affirm together. I release my prayer for a world that works for all into the creative law of spirit with complete trust in manifesting power. Very nice. And I would love to introduce our lovely Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson.
Hey, can you turn off the mic, please?
Oh, thank you.
Turn. Okay. A year of grand rising. Our focus on grand rising in consciousness, because that's where it all starts. And today's topic, which is the power, that we have the power to create a world that works for everyone, is based on not only something that came through us even before we were part of Centers for Spiritual Living, but it's part of the global vision of Center for Spiritual Living. In fact, it's like a summary statement of that vision. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all creation. So that is something that we hold in common with the international organization of Centers for Spiritual Living that has centers all over the world that are doing the kinds of things that we're doing and teaching the things that we're teaching, which is really very exciting. And we're part of a larger movement called New Thought, Ancient Wisdom, which is a even bigger than that. Other organizations, the Unity and the Agape and many other organizations that are part of it. So as we tune into that awareness of this collective intention to co-create or to create a world that works for everyone and for all creation, let us just take a moment and contemplate the power and the potency of that intention. And know that despite appearances at times, that vision is taking root. And there are many, many appearances, evidences of that vision showing up all the time. And that's what I tune myself into, publications like Optimist Daily, tuning into all of the various evidences of that intention showing up. This vision is based on a spiritual principle called oneness. What does that mean? It's talking about the interconnection of all life and the idea and actually truth that's in quantum physics and everything else that we arise out of a unified field of consciousness, a universal mind, a presence, a power that people call by many different names. I use the word God, but I also use love intelligence and source and a lot of other names to anchor in for me the grandeur and the magnificence of this presence. And so the gathering together of people with a common purpose and a common intention magnifies the power of that intention. And then if you consider, even beyond the whole New Thought movement, all the other organizations all over the planet that are also focused on this idea of a world that works for everyone. There's a great movement, a great rising in consciousness going on, and it is spreading. Believe me, I know it is spreading. As a spiritual community, we have been focused on this for 14 years. 14 years of focused intention. Understanding that beneath this, a world that works for everyone, there is a focus on transformation in consciousness, because that's where it starts. As within, so without. That's the principle. And what I am sensing is that we are poised for the next evolution in consciousness. I can feel it. In fact, as I say it, I am getting God bumps. I'm feeling the truth and the power of that statement. Let's breathe. And the most powerful tool of transformation that we teach in this spiritual community is spiritual mind treatment. Dean so beautifully demonstrated it today. It's a form of prayer for those who are new with us that begins by acknowledging the allness of the one presence and the one power. And then we can elaborate on that. That's this God, this presence, this power is all there is. The great creator of this ever-unfolding universe. And multiverses, too. You know, we're hearing that there's more and more and more. Many, many realms of existence. One presence, one life, one power. And that I am that presence individualized. We are all that presence individualized. The potency and the all power of that presence is coursing through us. So we've talked about that individually, and today is really about collectively. So as you look around the room, just imagine the all power and presence of the divine coursing through each and every one of these beings surrounding you. And all of us with a common intention. We are a community of great love, great loving kindness, holding this high intention, this vision of a world, actually we add to it heaven on earth, a world that works for all, which includes all. Imagine the power and the potency of that intention. These moments of shared purpose are the expression of true oneness, the essence of true oneness. And it is, and I'm seeing it as the blending of the energies of the one individualized as each one of us that's creating this beautiful tapestry of life. It's so beautiful and it's so glorious. And then I'm also knowing, because we're connected with everyone else on the planet, that there's this beautiful wave of transformation that is taking place all over the planet because of the common seeds that we are planting. This grand awakening, this grand rising that we have been talking about all year. And that brings me to the next idea. The value of voting. I talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again today because it's so important. So this is another way that we bring forth and stand up for the values that we hold near and dear to our hearts. When we cast our vote, and in Centers for Spiritual Living, we do not tell people how to cast your vote, but we do encourage you to vote and to exercise your creative power with that action, to stand for what you believe in. So that is so important for holding government accountable, to uphold the principles that we believe in, and actually the principles that our Constitution resides on, which are things like unity and self-determination and so on, inclusion, common good. In Sermon by the Sea, Ernest Holmes encouraged us to be for something and against nothing. For something and against nothing. So this is about reminding us not to waste our potent creative energy on fighting against things, on focusing on what we're against, but instead using our creative energies to focus on what we are for. So can you see how it's like pulling the plug on all the stuff that's annoying us, right? And instead honing and focusing, laser focusing our creative power on that which we are for and casting our votes with that kind of power and energy. So you see, something is not just going on the physical level, something is going on the spiritual level when we do it in that way, when we do it with great intention. So when we use universal power, let it be for our values and vision. Let it be for engaging with elected officials and advocating for policies that promote what we believe in. We've talked a lot about inclusivity, justice, social justice, progress, harmony, unity, compassion, and thriving for everyone. Those are some of the things that we as a community stand for. And there is tremendous energy in our collective intention to bring that forth as we vote. Take a moment now, if you would, and turn within and notice that any discontent you may have helps to qualify and clarify what it is that you are for. So as you close your eyes, notice where discontent lies within you. Discontent about the government, discontent about something in your life. And now use that. See, this is the way we use those things that are contrasts in our lives that cause discontent. We use that to shift our attention now to what we are for. So now turn that into a statement of what I am for. I am for fill in the blank. And then I invite you to turn to someone near you and share what you are for. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, my friends. So I'd like to conclude with a few stories, and these stories come from voting rights historian Martha S. Jones, who is the author of Vanguard, How Black Women Broke Barriers, Won the Vote, and Insisted on Equality for All. Isn't that a beautiful title? Beautiful title. So she shares a story about her own grandmother, whose name's Susie Jones, who helped Black classmates and teachers at Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina, register to vote during what was called Operation Door Knock in 1960. That was the same year as the famous lunch counter sit-in that galvanized the civil rights movement. She tells another story about Mary McLeod Bethune, a future FDR administration official, who voted in the 1920s even after, and if you can imagine, the KKK showed up to deter her. And she voted anyway. They actually apparently came to her school in Daytona Beach, Florida, where she taught, and she just casted her vote anyway. Just amazing, amazingly powerful, courageous women. Joella Moore was turned away 7 times from registering to vote in Mississippi. Finally, after the Voting Rights Act was passed, she registered, and listen to this, she registered to vote in Prentice, Mississippi motel, in a motel. They were registering people to vote in a motel. I guess maybe that was a safe place to go to do that, I don't know. But that was in, listen to this, 1965. 1965, I mean, I think Black women were the last ones who were really supported in voting. So I invite all of you to really take a moment and comprehend the incredible courage that many, many people of color and women, what they did to secure the right to vote. And even before that, all of, during the revolution, the American Revolution, securing that right to vote. There are 2 seats right up here, Uni. Oh, okay. All right. And realizing that this life, this presence, this power, this amazing glory of the divine that resides in, through, and as each one of us is calling us not only into action and voting, but calling us to form and to hold a high vision of a world that works for all, and let that inform every action that we take. Because that is what is going to bring it about into being. It begins in consciousness, and it's demonstrated in action. So let it be so. And let's turn within for a moment and in prayer, as I speak this truth, knowing that all there is one life, one source, one presence, one power. That life is my life. That life is the life of each and every one of us. As the life, the presence, and the power of the divine, we contain that potency of spirit that is available to each one of us. We are conscious, aware, awake beings. We are free. We are free to choose where our thought goes, what our actions are. And I'm knowing that we choose, we are guided and directed to choose that which is not only for our own interest, but that grander vision of that which is for the greater good, the common good. And so in celebration of that power, in celebration of the vision that we hold in common, I am knowing as I and with a heart full of gratefulness, I am knowing as I release this word to the action of universal law that it is done. I know it to be true. I invite all of us to accept it, accept this truth with a powerful yes, and so it is. Thank you so much, my friends. Deb.